Good evening, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, evening headlines on March 1, 2023. Rare whale feeding technique could explain tales of mythical sea creature. Video. The Guardian, hungry whales feeding behavior explains sea monster myths. The Times, a recently discovered whale feeding strategy has turned up in 2,000-year-old texts about fearsome sea monsters. The Conversation, ancient texts shed new light on mysterious whale behavior that captured imagination. The Guardian, ancient medieval texts suggest a sea monster in Norse sagas called Havgufa was a trap-feeding whale. Russian law amendments punish discrediting military, including voluntary formations. Reuters, Putin bans Russian officials from using foreign words in swipe at degenerate West. The Independent, Russia will jail critics of paramilitary Wagner Group. The Times, forget Bond or Dahl, Putin's ban on foreign words shows us what an actual threat to free speech looks like. The Independent, Putin signs law banning officials from using foreign words. Man who survived on ketchup for 24 days at sea to get new boat, from Heinz. Sky News, Heinz confirms plans to buy a boat for Dominican sailor who survived off ketchup. ABC News, Heinz finds the ketchup boat guy who survived nearly a month at sea. USA Today, hashtag find the ketchup boat guy success, Heinz locates the man who survived nearly a month at sea by eating ketchup and seasonings. Trump News, live, Trump attacks old ally Rupert Murdoch after bombshell Fox News Dominion revelations. The Independent, Jimmy Kimmel roasts, fragile snowflake, Donald Trump for allegedly trying to censor him. Vanity Fair, Kimmel riffs on Rolling Stone report that Trump tried to censor him. President Karen demanded to speak to my manager. Rolling Stone, Trump officials complained to Disney about Jimmy Kimmel jokes on ABC. Report. The Hill, report, Chrissy Teigen wasn't the only celebrity Trump tried to censor for being mean to him. Denmark to scrap public holiday to pay for NATO spending. Sky News, Denmark scraps public holiday to boost defense budget. BBC, Denmark votes to scrap public holiday to pay for military spending increase. Anadolu Agency, crazy, foolish, totally wrong, Denmark scraps 300-year-old holiday to pay for NATO defense budget. The Independent, Denmark abolishes public holiday to boost defense spending. Scientists discover fossils of oldest known potential pollinators. The Guardian, scientists uncover pollen-covered insects from 280 million years ago. Metro.co.uk, Russian scientists discover world_s oldest pollinators which are older than mosquitoes of Jurassic Park. WIAON, the oldest known pollen-carrying insects lived about 280 million years ago. Science News Magazine, scientists uncover 280 million-year-old insects. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot loses re-election bid. BBC, Chicago mayor loses re-election bid after race dominated by crime. Financial Times, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot says her head is held high after losing re-election bid. The Independent, Chicago's first openly gay, black woman mayor loses re-election. The harrowing discovery in Ukraine at the center of the Independent's new documentary. The Independent TV releases first feature-length documentary The Body in the Woods. The Independent, The Body in the Woods, an independent TV original documentary. The Independent, this film is about truth, Ukrainian officials praise Independent's first feature-length documentary. Russian patient offers to house Ukrainian doctor in Fairford. Mummy discovered in delivery driver's cooler bag in Peru. Sky News, Peruvian delivery man carried ancient mummy around in his bag. BBC, mummified body kept in food bag is my spiritual girlfriend, says delivery driver. The Telegraph, a spiritual girlfriend, delivery man found carrying ancient mummy in cooler bag. Evening Standard, 800-year-old mummy seized after man boasted about it to friends. Israel police crack down on protests against judicial reforms. BBC, Israeli police fire stun grenades on pro-judiciary protests. Al Jazeera English, opposition parties leave Knesset to join Tel Aviv protests. The Times of Israel, Lapid to police, ignore Ben Jiva's attempts to prevent protesters expressing opinions. The Times of Israel, brutal police crackdown on anti-Netanyahu as protests turn violent for first time. Manish Sisodia, India anti-corruption crusader fighting to clear his name. BBC, signs of emergency, in Delhi after senior opposition politician arrested on corruption charges. The Independent, Satyendra Jain sent handwritten resignation letter to Arvind Kejriwal. NDTV, don't give clean chit to Sisodia but see the timing. A national scandal is being covered. The Print, opinion, Manish Sisodia and AP cannot avoid some questions. Moment Alex Murdaugh defense attorney shouts at his friend of 25 years during rebuttal case. The Independent, Bubba, Buster, Paw, who's who in Murdaugh murder trial. BBC, Alex Murdaugh jurors to visit Moselle estate in murder trial. BBC, confession, bloody dog kennels and clean shirt, key revelations from the Alex Murdaugh murder trial. Iran nuclear, IAEA inspectors find uranium particles enriched to 83.7%. BBC, pressure on West to act grows after report on Iranian uranium enrichment. The Guardian, UN nuclear watchdog confirms inspectors found particles of near weapons-grade uranium in Iran. Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, near bomb-grade level uranium found in Iranian nuclear plant, says IAEA report. CNN, Iran nuclear stockpile over 18 times larger than JCPOA cap. Amazon jungle, man survived 31 days by eating worms. BBC, man says he survived month lost in Amazon rainforest by eating insects, drinking urine and fighting off animal attacks. CBS News, Amazon jungle, man survives 31 days by eating worms. Relatives of shipwreck victims travel to Italy to pay their respects. The Guardian, Italy migrant boat shipwreck, police arrest 3 for alleged smuggling. BBC, Italian authorities under fire after deadly migrant shipwreck. Financial Times, 62 people killed in migrant wreck and barely a shrug, it's not hard to work out why. iNews, the Irish Times view on the tragic sinking of a migrant boat off Italy, Europe must open its doors, the Irish Times. Putin, funnels millions by buying largest apartment in Russia for gymnast lover. Finland starts construction of Russia border fence as lawmakers give final approval for NATO bid. Hong Kong ends mask mandate after 945 days. BBC, Hong Kong to lift mask wearing rule as COVID restrictions end. Evening Standard, Hong Kong ends COVID mask mandate after 945 days to focus on economy. Financial Times, Chief Executive, mask mandate to be lifted starting from March 1, Hong Kong, latest news, WION. WION, Hong Kongers keep wearing masks despite end of 945-day mandate. Bola Tinubu is declared winner of Nigeria's presidential election but rivals call for a re-vote. Sky News, Bola Tinubu wins Nigeria's presidential election against Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi. BBC, Nigeria's ruling party candidate Tinubu wins presidential election, Electoral Commission. The Guardian, Bola Tinubu, from godfather of Lagos to Nigeria's president-elect. Reuters, Nigerian President-elect Bola Tinubu strikes unified tone. Greece train crash, survivors describe nightmarish seconds. BBC, Greece train crash latest, Transport Minister resigns. BBC, myriad questions but no evidence yet for cause of Greece train crash. The Guardian, Greece declares 3 days of national mourning in wake of deadly train crash. Anadolu Agency, in numbers, Europe's deadliest railway crash. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.